All right, welcome to the Explainer. So, what if everything you were taught about money, go to school, get a good job, save up, was just plain wrong? Today, we're going to tear into Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, a book that basically throws all that conventional wisdom out the window and has totally reshaped how millions of people think about wealth.
Okay, so the whole book really hinges on this one powerful contrast. See, the author had two main father figures in his life. One of them told him, study hard so you can find a great company to work for. But the other one, he said, study hard so you can find a great company to buy. I mean, right there, that's it. That one little shift in perspective is the key to everything we're about to unpack. So on one side, you've got his poor dad. This was his actual father, a super educated guy with a stable government job. Then on the other side, there's his rich dad, who, by the way, was an 8th grade dropout but ended up becoming a self-made millionaire. I mean, the irony is just staring you right in the face, right? The guy with all the degrees struggled with money, while the one who barely finished school built an empire. Now, the poor dad's advice probably sounds super familiar, because it's what most of us have heard our entire lives. Play it safe. Don't take any risks. It's that whole mindset built around job security, climbing the ladder, and just trying not to fail. And look, it feels safe, it feels responsible. But then Rich Dad comes in with this completely radical idea. Learn to manage risk. See, his whole point was that playing it too safe was actually the biggest risk you could take with your money. And that just changes everything, doesn't it? It forced the author to really think and choose a path, to figure out what financial safety really means.
So you might be wondering, what's the big deal with managing risk? Well, it was all part of Rich Dad's plan to teach him how to escape something he called the rat race.
Okay, so the rat race, it's this endless cycle that's basically fueled by two things: the fear of not having enough money and the desire for all the cool stuff that money can buy. It's such a clever trap because when you get a raise, you feel like you're making progress, right? But in reality, you're just a hamster on a wheel, just running a little bit faster.
And here's exactly how that trap works. It's so simple. You got a job, you earn some money, then you pay your bills and buy some things. Suddenly, whoops, you need more money. So what do? You work harder. And here's the kicker. Getting a bigger paycheck almost never solves the problem. It just means you have bigger bills and more expensive stuff. You're still stuck on that wheel.
So how in the world do you get off this wheel? Well, according to Rich Dad, the key to escaping the whole trap, it all comes down to understanding one really simple but totally game-changing rule. First up, we have to talk about an asset. The definition is dead simple. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. Think of a rental property bringing in rent, or stocks that pay you dividends. Basically, stuff that makes you money while you sleep. And then, of course, you have a liability. This is the opposite. It's anything that takes money out of your pocket. And this right here, this is the whole game. The rich spend their time and money buying assets. But the poor and the middle class, they spend their lives buying liabilities that they think are assets. That's a huge mistake. This difference in what you focus on creates two totally different patterns for how money moves in your life. For the middle class, your salary comes in, and then it flows right back out to pay for the mortgage, the car, taxes, all of it. But for the rich, the income flows from their assets first. That money covers all their expenses, and whatever's left over, it gets pumped right back into buying even more assets. It's a completely different system.
And this leads us to maybe the most controversial idea in the whole book. You ready for this? He argues that for most people, your house is not your biggest asset. It's actually your biggest liability. Now, why? Think about it. Every single month, it's just taking money out of your pocket. For the mortgage, taxes, repairs, it doesn't put a dime in your pocket. It's the perfect example of a liability pretending to be an asset. Okay, so if the goal is to buy all these assets, how do you actually start doing that? Well, that brings us to Rich Dad's next big lesson. You have to mind your own business. And listen, this does not mean you have to go quit your job tomorrow. It's about understanding the huge difference between your profession and your business. I love this example. Ray Kroc, the guy who founded McDonald's, once said his profession was selling hamburgers, but his business was real estate. See, the real money wasn't in the burgers. It was in owning all the valuable land that those restaurants were built on. So the takeaway here is really simple. Keep your day job. That's your profession. That's what pays the bills right now. But you need to start using that income to buy assets. That's your business. Your business is just your asset column. It's the thing you build piece by piece that's eventually going to buy your freedom.
Okay, so how do you know when you've actually made it? When have you won this game? According to Rich Dad, true wealth isn't about having $1 million in the bank. Nope, it's measured in something way more important. Wealth isn't a number, it's time. Here's the definition. If you stopped working today, how long could you survive? That's your wealth. You're financially free the day your monthly income from your assets is greater than your monthly expenses. That's it. That's real freedom, when your money works for you instead of you working for it.
Look, when you strip away all the details, it really just boils down to these simple patterns. The rich buy assets. The poor, well, they mostly just have expenses. And the middle class, they're busy buying liabilities that they think are assets. Which one of those describes you? Because your answer to that question pretty much defines your entire financial future.
In the end, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is so much more than a book about money. It's really a challenge to unlearn a lifetime of bad advice. Every single dollar you spend is like casting a vote for the kind of life you want to have. So the question is, what story is your money telling right now? Is it the story of being stuck in the rat race, or is it the story of you, finally writing your own ticket to freedom?